Alright, guys, I'm going to be going over some predictions for UFC 6 and what features I want to see. I see a lot of people thinking that UFC will come out in October. I disagree. I do not think UFC 6 will come out in October. I think it will come out in a whole nother year at least because of the lack of trailers, no info by anybody, and also it was 3 years between UFC 4 and UFC 5, so I don't see why it wouldn't be the same again. But UFC 3 was made 2.5 years before UFC 4. It's not going to come out this year, guys. I'm sorry, I hate to say it. UFC needs to have the full roster. There's no reason why they can't do this. I mean, EAFC has like every single soccer player in the world on there, almost. So yeah, there's no reason why they can't put the full UFC roster like instantly. Every time there's a new person, just instantly add them, or at least be better with it because there's like well-known people who are like number top five in the division who aren't even in the game. I just don't understand why they can't update the UFC roster very often in UFC 6 because they do it in every other EA game. They do it in Madden. They do it in EAFC. They update it all the time with young players who are unknown. They'll add them to the game. So I just don't get why the UFC couldn't do that, especially considering the fact that there's a lot less UFC fighters than people in EAFC, soccer players or Madden NFL players. There's all these players. Why can't you just add the extra fighters? Also, I don't like how they don't update the roster, but they're willing to add DLC characters, different versions of all these fighters, which I'm all for it, but just update the roster before you add 10 different versions of the same fighter with more stars because back in the day they were better, but then you don't want to add people who are in the UFC who are big fighters, not even in the game. You're not even adding these new fighters. It's also weird how they put a price on different versions of fighters. For example, they'll make a $5 version of Sean O'Malley with different trunks on and make him have more stars on his stats, which is another thing. They shouldn't even have the star system as stats. They should have it 1 to 99 like every other EA game in every other sport, but that's besides the point. So yeah, it just doesn't make any sense how they do things. They're adding 10 different versions of each fighter with a paywall behind it. It's kind of stupid. They should add multiple versions of fighters without a paywall behind it, but I get they do have to make money on microtransactions. They do it every year. It is what it is, but it sucks that it's not just on cosmetics because also these different versions of the fighters are sometimes better. So I'll face a 5-star Conor McGregor with a 4.5-star Conor McGregor. A great thing they could add to online career, because online career is really bland and needs some stuff added to it, is an open gym like 2K My Court or My Park, and basically you could go on like fight win streaks and sparring against like random people. That'd be pretty sick. More knockout animations are definitely needed too, because I feel like the same knockout animations play every time someone's knocked out. A cool idea would be maybe a Dana White mode where you basically own the UFC, you can sign new fighters and create cards and different matchups. Kind of like in EAFC, how there's like manager mode, be a manager of a team, buy players, play as the team. You can pretty much do whatever you want. Manager mode in EAFC. It would be pretty cool if we saw something like that, obviously, with owning the UFC. Like I said, creating your own card. You could make a crazy card of different stuff, and you could also maybe host the Ultimate Fighter too, or like the Dana White Contender Series. So as you guys know, you can fight in the backyard in UFC 5 where you're outside. It pretty much almost looks like the Scrap Yard on Instagram. I don't know if you guys follow that page, but yeah, you're basically backyard fighting MMA, which is pretty cool how they had that in UFC 5. But it would be cool if they added more of that, like more different street settings. It would be pretty sick to have that. Maybe even different settings with like rain or on the street there's like a cage. I don't know. I mean, that sounds crazy, but they could add different settings besides just the backyard. I think the gameplay also needs to be overhauled. I don't understand how people can get knocked down like 10 times and not get knocked out. Like, or you could get knocked down 10 times, your opponent can get knocked down 8 times. Like, it's just the gameplay, it makes no sense. In UFC, people don't get knocked down 10 times, 15 times, and get back up after they're rocked all these times. Like, every time someone gets knocked down, it's usually a big event in the fight. I said this in my other videos, and this is so crucial. I'm going to keep repeating this. UFC 6 needs game chat. It would make the game so much better. There would be clips going viral. It would be more. It would just be more fun. It would bring more life to the game, and it would make people play more. It would make the fight so much more intense because you know you got somebody talking crazy to you, or somebody could be nice. You know what I'm saying? Like you could make a friend, bro. Like, because the no game chat, it's messing up the game. It's making the game worse. Game chat is necessary. It's a fighting game. Like fighters talk to each other in the ring. You know, you see Khabib talk to McGregor before. You've seen, it's a part of the game. Every other game has game chat, bro. All right, so that's the end of the video. Please like and subscribe and comment what you want to see in UFC 6, your predictions. Let me know if I'm wrong about something. Just put it all down in the comments. Thank you for watching.